What's up, y'all? I'm Elle, a licensed esthetician in New York City, and I am starting this page because I just want to start talking about the toxicity of this wellness industry, this beauty wellness industry. And I just want to start really shedding light on um, what goes on behind the scenes, um, all of that and the above. All of this came about because I was approached to do an interview about a place that I worked, and she wanted to expose them because of all the rumors she heard. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But if you want to talk about the dirtiness of this industry, then we can absolutely talk about that, because the working conditions are giving sweatshop. It's giving cut every corner. It's giving, oh, clients are not going to know, but we're just going to smoke and mirror the whole thing. It's giving, we're still having arguments and conversations about whether we should have insurance after, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that. And so I really wanted to make this page as just a way to start shedding some light on the shit that we go through as estheticians in 2024. So I'm going to start off by saying, if you are a leader, if you are in a position of leadership, you have a team you manage, oversee, whatever, it is not a flex for you to always use the nobody knows how to do their job as an excuse when things and shit hits the fan. That's not a thing. Like, you cannot plead ignorance. You can't be like, oh my gosh, like I do everything, because you don't. If you are a manager, if you have a team, if you have a responsibility to people, oh, because people don't know how to do their job. No, that's a reflection of you. That directly reflects you. Because if your team below you does not know how to do their job, that means you're not teaching them properly. If there's a scheduling discrepancy, the room isn't right, we don't have a room available, the lunches, X, Y, and Z, and you know that that is your jurisdiction. So what we're saying is you don't know how to teach your job properly, and you maybe need to lead with that. Because if your team doesn't know how to schedule people or how to do a certain task, they should be able to come to you, and you should be able to teach them properly. So what I'm getting now, as we're lost in the shuffle working at jobs, is like, oh, you have to use your best discretion. First of all, so let's go back and let's unpack that. That would be like saying use your common sense. And what we've already debunked in 2024 is that common sense is not common. It is not common. We were not all raised the same. We do not have the same upbringing. We did not have the same experiences. So to sit here and say, use your better discretion, use your better judgment, is the same way of saying it's common sense. Now let's also talk about why that's not right. It's not accurate because we know that money comes first. And this has been my biggest issue with everyone. Money always comes first. So if money comes first, what you're basically saying is, if there's a client and they want to come in and book a schedule, just move their break around. Just like, the client comes first, because there's always that right in the foundation of the client always comes first. And by the client comes first, we're always going to take the money. We can figure out their breaks later. So you've got one manager yelling at you that you need to take your lunch breaks. And then you have another who's scheduling you the craziest lunch breaks, that at that point is kind of like, well, what are we even scheduling a lunch break for? For shits and giggles and lip service? No, this literally doesn't make sense. And so I am now, and I'm always perplexed that scheduling lunches is such an issue in corporations. Why are we talking about scheduling breaks for estheticians? And if our services are an hour or an hour and a half, what did you think 30 minutes was going to do? Yes, I am aware that in New York State, it is required of you to take a lunch. I get that. But you're scheduling them so bogus as a way for you to just say, hey, listen, I'm scheduling it, and so we cover our ass. This is all just lip service at this point. If you are in a management position, I don't want to hear any of the, I'm just, I'm trying to look out for you and we're doing this together and I just feel like, and blah, 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 only for me to look at my schedule and see the same fuckery, if not worse. Why do I have to have this argument with you? And why is it that at every place that we've been at, that type of behavior is acceptable? So you're going to come in, I'm going to have only been at work an hour and a half, and you're going to schedule me a lunch and then schedule me 6 clients back to back. Facials that are heavily massage oriented. Knowing that the way you are building your spa, because that is now the trend of the industry, is wellness and healing arts and Reiki and energy and all of these things. So knowing that that is the way that these things are going, you saw it fit. I'm scheduled from 10 to 7, which means 9:30 to 7:30. And you think it's fitting. Like, if you're watching this and you are in a managerial position, I really need y'all to think about this, and I want you to think about it realistically. What does your turnover rate look like if you are not allowing your staff proper breaks? What does that look like when your clients are burnt out? And I'm sorry, not your clients, but your employees are burnt out. And what are you actively doing to rectify that situation? You are in a position of power. So that means that if everything goes through you, you are okaying or not okaying certain actions. So what made you think that looking at this schedule, that was sustainable? You booked my entire day without a break. That made sense to you? That is very much on brand for how this industry is. So when this woman is like, oh, I just want to talk about this specific place. And so she's telling me about all of the other people's experiences and blah, 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 do. And I'm just like, that's everywhere in this industry. That is absolutely everywhere. They hire you because you're an expert, but they treat you like you have no idea what, like, I went to school to be an esthetician. I did not go to school to be marketing. I did not go to school to be an influencer. I did not go to school to be PR, communications, management, janitorial, custodial arts. I did not go to school for anything but estheticianry. The reason why I can do those things, maybe it's a little bit of trauma back there. You grow up as a millennial and all of a sudden you're just like, you understand that you go into the workforce and you know that there's going to be a level of needing to do more than what is actually in your job description. So you have this strong work ethic because that's the way you were raised, yet at the same time, you still know low key, this shit is toxic. You are not hiring me because I am an expert. You are hiring me on the hopes that I am so thirsty and hungry for a job that I will allow you to do whatever you want. And you're hoping I won't say anything. That's what you're doing. So I now, switching from managerial, I want to switch over to people, estheticians, massage therapists, people who are hired because they have an expertise. When you go to these interviews, start asking them about the work. Start asking them about, how important are sales to services? What does a typical day look like? When they start talking about, oh, we have 50-minute facials, but you got 10 minutes in between to clean up, sell, and write notes for your next client, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not okay. You don't have enough time to do that. Hashtag just saying. 60 minutes and then there's 15 minutes. 15 minutes is still not even enough, but you know what? You make it work, right? That's how we do. We just have to make it work. I want you to start interviewing these places. You have to start interviewing these places because they will run you into the ground and be like, no, like, well, are you sure? Like, did you want to do? No, I don't want to do shit. That's literally not what I want to do. That is not what I'm trying to do. So, situation, they booked a client, which means that the way they booked this client, they would have stayed 15 minutes after closing, which means I would stay an extra 15 to 30 minutes to close and shut down everything. They did not ask me. They just put it on my books. We close at this time. Why is this facial ending 15 minutes later? Which would mean that technically my clean time is an extra 15 minutes, but when you're closing down the day, you need an extra 10 to 15 after that to make sure everything is cleaned properly, sanitized properly, all of the above, right? Cute. How did you book that? How did you say it was okay? And then when I came to check you on it, how did you say, would you be able to stay? Like, would you want to? No. It is not better to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. And the answer is no, because you're trying my boundaries. You're trying my patience. You thought you were just going to put someone on the schedule and assume that I did not have a life outside of here. These little things, people who work for in services and have talents and things like that, these are the little microaggressions that they're hoping that you don't catch. These are the things that they're hoping that you just go, oh, okay, well, you know what, I'll do it this one time. No, because what happens is you do it that one time, they're automatically going to start to assume that that is something that you are naturally okay with doing. And if it's not okay, do not say it is. Say, no, it's not. I have things to do. Nope, I cannot do that. Nope, I cannot do that. But we have to start getting to a point where we start calling these jobs out for the little microaggressions, because those little microaggressions start wearing on the mental health, start stressing you out. You're going in every facial, you are creating a space, you're doing your job, you're doing the healing arts, you're doing all of these things. Your client is leaving on a cloud. They feel like, wow, this is crazy. You are the best. You are the this, you are the that. Not understanding that for most healers, empaths, people who are naturally have a gift, and it involves being a servant, serving the community, that it's draining and it's taxing, and that it actually is a lot on you. That's what you hired us for, are to be healers. Yes, I am abundant, but bitch, don't get cut. Don't get cut, okay? Like, this is not a free for all in this at all. At all. This is my first video, and I plan to make plenty more of these type of egregious acts, because it's very easy to have a wool pulled over your eyes, especially if you're just out of school. Maybe you've been out of the industry and you're coming back, and you see on Instagram, you see on social media, these places that look so amazing to work for, and they look so amazing because they're selling to the client this luxury, this place of woosah. And every time my clients come in and they go, wow, you must love it here, I always want to go, I don't actually. I hate it. But I hate working for anybody. And this is not my final destination. This is just a pit stop. But I have to put up with it for the moment. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I love it. I don't, because I'm working for a bunch of people in an industry who have no idea the effort and energy and mental space that all of this takes up. They have no idea the expertise. They have no idea the experience. They have no idea what it takes to do what I do and make it so effortless. And that is the kicker. So I'm being managed and run by a bunch of people who literally have no idea what it is that I do. And we need to start demanding better, because I don't understand why in 2024 we are still arguing about scheduled lunches and breaks so that we do not burn out. Make that make sense. Anyway, that is my time for today. I was trying to keep it short, but stay tuned.